Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Maths Genius Club, where we try and motivate everyone to be the best they can be in mathematics because we believe that everybody can do maths. It just takes the right environment, takes the right attitude, the right teacher, the right presentation of the subject for someone to actually realize that mathematics is just but one of the many subjects that can be conquered and can be done with excellence. So, in our bid to try and help as many people, we have obviously this podcast that we put on YouTube and other various podcast outlets, right? So you'll be able to find it in most of the podcast platforms. So you find we have started something called the Mathematics Anonymous Support Club. As you can see in the picture there, it's housed on MathsGee.com, MathsGee.com, like MathsGee.com, and for only 200 South African rands, anyone anywhere in the world will be able to join in for the year. And you can see that we're left with 9 months and 25 days on this day, on the 3rd of March 2019. But you can join anytime and you'll be able to ask questions. You'll be able to interact with other people that might be facing similar issues with mathematics, be it doing the operations in mathematics or just ideas around the fear of maths and stuff like that. So it's just a platform for people to let out and demystify this subject called mathematics. So just like our Alcoholics Anonymous, we Mathematics Anonymous also want to just make sure that you succeed and get over your fears of mathematics or any other impediments around the subject that you have. So today we're going to listen to a gentleman from Carnegie Mellon University in the United States, Professor Paul Shen Law, who is talking about mathematical ability and believes that everybody can do maths if people can move away from the fact that maths has been presented as this abstract subject that is all about rote memorization and impracticability, meaning that people don't even know where all these things they're learning in class applies. Because I mean, the most asked question in any maths class around the world is, when am I going to ever use this in my life, So we need to make an effort to try and show where these mathematical principles work in life, because they do actually apply in every facet of life, right? So let's listen to the prof and hear what he had to say.
Everyone in the world could be a math person if they wanted to. The key word, though, I want to say is if they wanted to. That said, I do think that everyone in America could benefit from having that mathematical background in reasoning just to help everyone make very good decisions. And here I'm distinguishing already between math, as people usually conceive of it, and decision-making and analysis, which is actually what I think math is. So, for example, I don't think that being a math person means that you can recite the formulas between sines, cosines, tangents, and to use logarithms and exponentials interchangeably. That's not necessarily what I think everyone should try to concentrate to understand. The main things to concentrate to understand are the mathematical principles of reasoning. But let me go back to these sines, cosines, and logarithms. Well, actually, they do have value. What they are is that they are ways to show you how these basic building blocks of reasoning can be used to deduce surprising things or difficult things. In some sense, they're like the historical coverages of the triumphs of mathematics. So one cannot just talk abstractly about, yes, let's talk about mathematical logic. It's actually quite useful to have case studies or stories, which are these famous theorems. Now, I actually think that these are accessible to everyone. I think that actually one reason mathematics is difficult to understand is actually because of that network of prerequisites. You see, math is one of these strange subjects for which the concepts are chained in sequences of dependencies. When you have long chains, there are very few starting points, very few things I need to memorize. I don't need to memorize, for example, all these things in history, such as when was the War of 1812? Well, actually, I know that one because that's a math fact. It was 1812. But I can't tell you a lot of other facts, which are just purely memorized. In mathematics, you have very few that you memorize, and the rest you deduce as you go through. And this chain of deductions is actually what's critical. Now, let me contrast that with other subjects, like, say, history. History doesn't have this long chain. In fact, if you fully understand the War of 1812, that's great. And it is true that that will influence perhaps your understanding later of the women's movement, but it won't be as absolutely prerequisite. In the sense that if you think about the concepts, I actually think that history has more concepts than mathematics. It's just that they're spread out broader and they don't depend on each other as strongly. So for example, if you miss a week, you will miss the understanding of one unit, but that won't stop you from understanding all of the rest of the components. So that's actually the difference between math and other subjects in my head. Math has fewer concepts, but they're chained deeper. And because of the way that we usually learn, when you have deep chains, it's very fragile because you can lose any one link. Meaning, if you miss a few concepts along the chain, you can actually be completely lost. If, for example, you're sick for a week, or if your mind is somewhere else for a week, you might make a hole in your prerequisites. And the way that education often works, where it's almost like riding a train from a beginning to an end, well, it's such that if you have a hole somewhere in your track, the train is not going to pass that hole. Now, I think that the way to help to address this is to provide a way for everyone to learn at their own pace, and in fact to fill in the holes whenever they are sensed. And I actually feel like if everyone was able to pick up every one of those prerequisites as necessary, filling in any gap they have, mathematics would change from being the hardest subject to the easiest subject. I think everyone's a math person, and all that one has to do is to go through the chain and fill in all the gaps, and you'll understand it better than all the other subjects, actually.
Yeah, so we need to fill in the gaps, and just acknowledging the fact that maths is a cumulative subject, whereby if you miss a few concepts, you'll be stuck. You won't be able to start off with higher order mathematics if you don't know the basics. So it's important to understand that maths is a progressively cumulative subject, and we have to make sure that we understand the relationships and patterns that govern the different topics in the subject. So yeah, so let's do this. Make sure to join our group on MathsGee.com. It's called Mathematics Anonymous Support Group, and please tell your friends to join, because it's always better when you have more people that you know and you can share your issues on maths, and we'll be there also to guide you and help you and hopefully assist in your success in mathematics. So yeah, thank you very much for this time, and yeah, see you on MathsGee.com.